Hello, my friend, and welcome to Something for Everybody. My name is Aaron Machbitz, and today is a solo episode of the podcast where I'm discussing 12 brutal career truths. And let's just jump right in. 12 brutal career truths. Number 1, hard work isn't enough. Results need to be seen. Advocate for yourself. Quiet efforts get ignored. Now, there's a lot going on here. We know that hard work is really a prerequisite for anything that you do in life, but especially in the career path where you don't own your time and you're working for someone else, your results need to be seen. Like an athlete, that's what all related to, right? The coach wants to see you spending that extra time in the gym. They want to see you showing up early, staying late. Now, all of these efforts, the quiet efforts, the ones that no one sees, they may go ignored, but they do make you better. And if they make you better, that means your results are more likely to be more consistent. And if your results are more consistent, then you will usually get rewarded for those things. Now, all circumstances are not equal. Of course they're not. But if you are putting in the right amount of effort and the right amount of hard work, it then allows you to create more opportunities. And if that goes unnoticed, then like we're saying, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to say that you can handle this position, or you want more work, or you deserve to be in this room, or have this conversation, or you have this good idea, because everyone is solely focused on themselves, and you have to be your greatest advocate, and that's a skill that you have to learn. Dr. Jordan Peterson talks about it all the time of being assertive. There's assertiveness training, and that can be very valuable when you're advocating for yourself, but you can really only advocate for yourself if you have the credible evidence that you are who you say you are. So you have to be working hard. You have to be developing your skills, doing the right thing, showing up early, staying late, giving your absolute best effort, focusing on being the best at getting better, not some certain result or outcome, knowing that's the direction, of course, you're heading in, but looking just to be the best at getting better, and then advocating for yourself in that domain and talking to people, getting feedback, all these sorts of things that make great athletes great can also make you great in whatever domain you're in, especially if you're in a career path that you're trying to project upward. And so that's number 1, hard work isn't enough, but hard work definitely is the prerequisite, and effort is always going to be an extremely important thing when it comes to you developing your best self. And so then we have number 2, loyalty won't pay the bills. Companies are loyal to profits, not people. Look out for yourself first. The prime example of this, and we're not going to get into all the other stuff that comes with discussing this topic, but the United Healthcare CEO dies. He gets murdered, and I think less than 24 hours, they had his job posted on LinkedIn. If that doesn't show you the exact thing that this one is talking about, loyalty won't pay the bills. Companies are loyal to their profits, their stockholders, their shareholders, whatever the case may be. This guy gets executed in the middle of Manhattan, regardless of what you think about it. It's absolutely horrible. Then less than 24 hours later, his job is posted on LinkedIn. Loyalty won't pay your bills. Yes, you have to first look out for yourself. You have to look out for yourself. And looking out for yourself does mean, in relationship to that first one that we talked about, it does mean working really hard, because working really hard and having great effort and advocating for yourself are always transferable skills into any position, job, or company that you go in, because you have credible evidence that you can climb the ladder. You have credible evidence that you can work hard and you can do a great job and you can get better and you can improve. You have credible evidence that you are this great worker, employee, person, whatever you want to be, right? Maybe it's potentially time to become that solo entrepreneur and take on some of your own stock in the game instead of relying on other companies and other people. But it's whatever career choice works best for you in your life. And you always want to feel that agency, that you have some control over your direction and your destiny. And by working hard and being effort driven, and focusing on being the best at getting better and asserting when you want to advocate for yourself, and knowing that the companies that you usually work for are just looking out for their profits. Case in point, the one I just stated. And so you have to look out for yourself first, taking care of your well-being, spending time, being able to spend time with your family, not always working, but being able to have a complex and diverse life where you spend time doing things that you love, that bring joy to your heart as well, not just working nonstop for someone who doesn't really care about you. They care about what you produce. And then we have number 3. Your job title is temporary. Focus on building skills, not clinging to labels. Titles don't define your value. People are obsessed with titles. Like, I just see this in relationship to youth baseball all the time. These parents, they want to be on the team that's a majors team, right? Because in youth baseball, there's 3 levels. There's AA, AAA, and majors, just like, in actual Major League Baseball. And the skill level progresses as you go up, right? Majors being the best, AA being the lowest, and then AAA being right in the middle. They're just obsessed with the label that their son is on a majors team, even if their son might not get any sort of playing time. He won't get better, his skills won't increase, and there's no chance of him playing because the skill level at that age group at that time is just a little bit better than him. And they're obsessed with the title. And a lot of people are the same way. They'd rather have the title than it be the right situation for them in how they can improve and get better. Because your job title, or as an athlete, your placement is temporary. If you're focused on building skills, if you're focused on your effort, if you're focused on being the best at getting better and not clinging to, I have to be in this spot, or I have to have this label, or I have to be in this group, or I have to be on this team, they don't define your value, and they don't define how hard you work and what you bring to the table, because you know that you can be anything you want. Your title, yes, is important in terms of the dynamics maybe of the company or maybe pay. So you're trying to get boosted or promoted to that spot so you can be in that position to change more people's lives or to bring more service to them. But really, you're focused on yourself, your skills, and developing into the best version of you, because that's really all you can control. I mean, it goes down to a lot of things we talk about when I speak about athletes and their mindset. You want to solely focus on the things that are inside of your control, especially if you work for a company. There's so many things outside of your control that you just have absolutely no idea of. That's why the first one was hard work isn't enough. Sometimes you can do all of the right things as an athlete, as an employee. You can do all of the right things, so many good things. Bang, you're just crushing it. All these great things in a row, and it still doesn't work out the way you'd hoped. That's just how it happens sometimes. Like, it is what it is. And so hyper focusing on your job title distracts you. It's like hyper focusing on the results distracts you and constricts you from actually flourishing and opening up and being your best self and flowing like you know that you can. And so that's number 3. Quick drink here. Here we go. Jumping to number 4. Your boss isn't always right. Your boss isn't always right. Leaders make mistakes too. Challenge respectfully, when it matters. Jocko talks about this all the time. Jocko Willink is a leadership expert and former Navy SEAL. And he talks about taking extreme ownership. He talks about making mistakes as a leader. And he says leaders, the best ones, take responsibility and accountability for their mistakes, which allows other people in the ranks or underneath them to also take responsibility and accountability for their mistakes as well. Everyone is going to make a mistake. It's whether or not we own it. It's whether or not we take responsibility for it. It's whether or not we take accountability for it. And we learn from that mistake. We reload, we refire, and we learn from what had happened. And so if your boss is that type of person, then he's going to make mistakes too. He's going to take accountability, and we can challenge that respectfully, especially when it matters, especially when we have a great idea, we're going to assert ourselves in this matter, or we feel like we can run this thing a little bit better. We have to put ourselves in that situation. Again, we have to advocate for ourselves. Yes, you might be working really hard But no one may know that. So here's the situation where you interject yourself. There's been a mistake. You want to pick the pieces up. You want to challenge respectfully, and you want to move forward in this direction. Now, you're going to have bosses who are horrible. You're going to have bosses who blame everyone else, who don't take responsibility and just think they're perfect and do everything right. Then you really have to take these things in your own hands and focus on you, your skills, what you're trying to do, and what you can develop in yourself before potentially moving to a different situation that might be a little bit better for you and what you're trying to do. But if you have a boss like Jocko talks about, who's a great leader, who takes ownership, who takes accountability, who leads from the front, who leads from example, then you challenging respectfully is going to be just great. That leader is going to respect that. The leader is going to understand that. He's going to want you to run that thing, like in any sort of team or leadership situation I've been in. That's how it works. It's player led or employee led, because the leader is doing such a great job of empowering his people and taking extreme ownership that everyone feels like, oh, I can really do this and I can really say this because I'm well respected and the organization is running in a respectful, kind, but also accountable manner. And so that's number 4. And now we move into number 5. Networking is non-negotiable. Number 5, networking is non-negotiable. Your skills are important, but connections will open the door. You have to, again, have the prerequisite skill. You have to have the prerequisite knowledge. You have to be trying to be the best at getting better. But everything in life is based on relationships. You want to live the good life? Again, according to Harvard's 80-year study, the good life is based on 2 things: great health and great relationships. And connections and networking are building great relationships. You want to build fake, pretend relationships that always have an aim and always have an end, and you're manipulating people. That's not real. That's not going to help you get into any doors. Now, potentially it might work a few times, but it's always going to catch you. Right? It's always going to catch you. Like Dr. Jordan Peterson says, lying always catches up to you. Nobody gets away with lying. And so you want to network in a way that's actually authentic, that's actually important. And you're developing your skills at the same time you're developing your relationship skills: how to communicate, how to talk, how to open doors, how to bring value, how to ask for help, how to give, and be in service of others. And so those connections are made in an authentic, genuine way. And then when someone has an opportunity that pops up, or someone has a thing that pops up, you jump into their mind like, oh shoot, like Jim was so cool the other day with this, and this, and I think he'd be really good for this job. Let me reach out to them and tell Jim that he's the perfect guy. And then all of a sudden you get a call, hey, we have this opportunity for you. We'd love for you to come and be a part of this cohort or this team to work on this project we got going on. Oh, wow, thank you so much. That fires me up because of the networking and the connections and the relationship building. But it's done in an authentic, genuine way, not an I'm trying to get something from you way. That sometimes works out, but generally it doesn't. If we can be reciprocal in our relationships, if we can negotiate in a way that's cohesive and reciprocal and brings value to the others and to ourselves, those relationships are blossoming into much more than just like, I'm trying to get something from you. But overall, networking is a non-negotiable. Gotta have it. It's a skill that you must develop, just like advocating for yourself or any of the skills that we talked about that relate to your job or bringing high effort and all that sorts of stuff. Number 6, burnout is not a badge of honor. It's not. Burnout is not a badge of honor. Also, burnout is preventable. We've done a couple episodes highlighting and diving into burnout on this podcast. They'll be linked in the show notes, or if you go to everybodyspod.com and you search burnout in the search bar, all of those episodes will come up. But burnout is not a badge of honor. Work smarter, not harder. Protect your energy. It's your greatest resource, right? Burnout is about a lot of things, but it's about a values conflict. It's about getting the right rest and recovery. It's also about getting into deep work. It's also about blocking out distractions, and it's also about protecting your energy by getting rest and recovery. The idea now to be the best version of yourself, to really get to the edge of your capacity, you have to get there. Like, you really have to challenge yourself to work as hard as possible. But in the same token, that's new and very important is that we have to rest and recover just as hard, or we can never come back on consistent days and go just as hard. We have to rest and recover just as hard. That means prioritizing sleep, prioritizing nutrition, prioritizing naps, taking breaks in the middle of the day that are non-sleep deep rest, that are not on technology, taking walks, moving well, working in 90-minute work bouts, going really deep, blocking out distractions so you're not multitasking and there's no residual brain energy that's left over and you're not slumped over in the middle of the day because of so many different, your attention's diverted in so many different ways. All right, burnout is not a badge of honor. Being able to work hard consistently while protecting your energy, while focusing on rest and recovery, while being at your very best more often than not, that's a badge of honor. But burnout is not. And so we have to think about how we can protect our energy. What can we do in terms of eating well, moving well, and sleeping well? And how can we get into deep work, take a little break, get some movement in throughout the day, nourish our body, and protect our energy in terms of how we move, how we rest, how we work, so that we can become the best version of ourselves and we're not burned out every 6 months having to do some sort of weird thing. We just implement it into our life as part of, I'm going to rest and recover. I'm going to burnout proof myself and protect my greatest resource. Number 7, comfort zones kill growth. We know this, talked about this a lot on this podcast. Your growth dies. It dies in the comfort zone. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. We all know this, but it's not about taking 75 steps outside of your comfort zone. It's not about leaping 25 yards out of your comfort zone. It's about taking those little steps outside of your comfort zone each and every day to continue expanding your domain of competence, to continue expanding your comfort zone, because your growth dies in the comfort zone where you just stay stagnant, you get bored, right? And you don't know what to do with yourself. Your talents aren't being utilized. You feel like nothing's happening. And it just sucks. So we have to keep challenging ourselves over and over and over again. We have to keep expanding our domain of competence. We have to keep seeking curiosity of what more can we learn? What more can we do to expand who I am, what I know, and challenge ourselves in that way. And so again, it's not taking 75-yard sprint every day to expand our comfort zone. It's just taking those little steps forward each and every day that expand our comfort zone, so we're consistently growing or consistently being the best at getting better. And it all falls in line with so far everything that we've talked about. And now we go into number 8. There's 12 career truths. By the way, we're on number 8 right here. Feedback is a gift. Oh, feedback is a gift. The best athletes in the world, the champions, the top performers, all of those people ask for feedback. They're excited for feedback because there's no other way to get better. Yeah, we can go off field. We can go off sort of our own report of what happened, but getting great feedback, regardless if it's harsh or not, is the only way we can get better. Yes, some is opinion, some is harsh criticism, some is good feedback, but we can jumble all of that together and sort of pick out the parts that are actually useful and going to make us better. But we can't do any of that if we never receive the feedback and if we never go seeking that feedback. Our ego can't be so fragile that we're just so scared of what people might say. We have to be concrete in who we are and what we stand for. And if one of our mantras or one of our core values is to be the best at getting better, then we're seeking that feedback. Even the harshest feedback can teach you something valuable. You have to seek it out. People love giving feedback. This is how you assert yourself, or maybe create a relationship or add value to someone's relationship by just asking someone, hey, what'd you think of that? Could you give me some feedback? I'm trying to get better at this, and I know this is something that you excel at, right? Not being cheesy or manipulative, but just really being open and honest. You really think this person is good at this, if it's a baseball context, or if I'm a professional wrestler, or whatever I'm doing, I'm asking someone that's potentially really good at this thing to watch me, to give me feedback, to get some eyes on it, because I'm seeking it out. Feedback falls in line with the comfort zone, right? If I'm asking for feedback, using that feedback to get better, then of course my comfort zone is expanding. I'm getting uncomfortable because I'm receiving feedback. I'm saying, oh, this is what I'm not very good at, or this is what I can work on. Let's do it. Let's continue to be the best at getting better, because feedback is a gift. And then we have number 9, you're always replaceable. You got to really think about that when it comes to this work culture, right? This falls in line with number 2, which we talked about, is loyalty won't pay the bills. You are replaceable. Again, we think about that guy who got murdered in Manhattan. His job title was up on LinkedIn in less than 24 hours. So you have to focus on making an impact, not being irreplaceable. Impact builds legacy, right? It doesn't matter if you are replaceable or not, because you are. Everyone is replaceable. You look at great athletes, right? They spend 10 years dominating for a team. They're replaced in the next day. They're replaced in the next day. Great employees, all of that stuff, because the business has to keep going and people are focused on profits, whatever, right? But you want to focus on making an impact, doing great work while you're there, because you don't, again, have control over it. You could get traded tomorrow, you get fired tomorrow, you get moved to a different department tomorrow, right? There's so many uncontrollable things that might happen, especially in the workplace or an athlete environment, that it's your job to focus on what's in your control, and that's doing great work, being the best at getting better, and making an impact. Not trying to be irreplaceable, because you're always replaceable, but making an impact is the goal. Number 10, perfection slows you down. We know this. Number 10 is perfection slows you down. Aim for progress, not perfection. Done is better than perfect. Perfection will hold you back because you think it's got to be perfect, everything's got to be right. No, we're aiming for progress. Progress, not perfection. As you continue to progress, as you continue to iterate and review and organize these things in a different way, you're going to get better. The project is going to get better. As you seek feedback, because you're not going to seek feedback if you're trying to be perfect, because you don't know what that person might say. You get a little nervous, you get a little scared, and you jump. And so you don't ask for feedback because you think, no, okay? Perfection slows you down. Asking for feedback, right? We have to get out of our comfort zone. We're aiming for progress, not perfection, right? Done is better than perfect, because once you have it done, then you can ask for feedback. Then you can ask for help. Then you can iterate, review. Then you can have a fresh set of eyes. Then you can do all these sorts of things that are going to make it just a little bit better as you progress out and are able to zoom out and look at it in a different light. And we have number 11, 2 more. Here we go, 2 more. Number 11, career progress isn't linear. Sidesteps, failures, pivots often lead to bigger wins, right? I talk about this a lot when I talk about my sports performance company with my athletes in my mindset program, talking about why I called it Champions Adjust. Now, right now, this applies to you as a career person, right? Champions adjust. Why do they have to adjust? Because they have to pivot. They have to move. Champions are able to adapt to the situation. Yes, we want to have mental toughness, but part of mental toughness is being flexible in our psychology, being psychologically flexible. That's why I named my company Champions Adjust, because if you want to reach elite status, you want to be the best in the world at something, whatever your domain is, you have to be flexible and you have to be able to adapt and move and pivot in real time on the dime. And that's what champions are made of. Champions aren't stuck. They're not here. I'm only this. This is only me. I am stuck. I'm a champion right here. No, champions adapt and pivot, and they're flexible, and they're able to move like water, like Bruce Lee. They sidestep. They learn from failure. They know the obstacles make them stronger. They're able to pivot and learn more. And as they get older, they, I keep smacking my podcast arm because I'm just getting excited about this episode. But fire me up, baby. Let's go. Love doing it. So that's why it's important. That's why I say that career progress isn't linear, and it really falls in line with this idea of champions adjust, that we're able to pivot and sidestep. And one of our mantras is obstacles make me stronger. Just adopting that, knowing that obstacles are going to come our way. Challenges are going to come our way. So what do? Okay, we understand, we learn, we grow, and they know they make us stronger moving forward because I'm a champion and I'm able to adjust and I'm heading in the right direction of me becoming the best version of me and trying to get better all the time. And then we have number 12, last one, no one will hand you success. Nope. No one will hand you success. Take ownership. Push for opportunities. No one's going to care more about your career than you. Yes, you're gonna have people in your corner, especially if you're creating great relationships, right? There's gonna have people who push for you and advocate for you, coaches, parents, employees, bosses, whatever it is, they're gonna advocate for you. But no one is coming to save you. And no one is going to advocate for you more than you. No one will hand you success, and no one will give you success, because you must take ownership. Complete and utter ownership, extreme ownership, dare I say, like our friend Jocko Willink. And that ownership, that effort, that hard work creates more luck and more opportunities. And then you jump through those doors because you're expanding your comfort zone. You're learning new skills. You're honing in on it. You're not seeking perfection. You're seeking progress. You're asking for feedback. So you're being the best at getting better. You're doing all of these sorts of things that are creating the best version of you, who's confident and clear and has clarity on their direction and who they want to be and where they want to go. And they're assertive and they advocate for themselves. And they also prioritize rest and recovery, knowing that if I want to be the best version of me on a consistent basis, I have to sleep, eat, move, and think well, which means I'm prioritizing rest and recovery. I'm prioritizing relationships and family time and things outside of work, but know that when I'm in work, I am trying to be the best at getting better, and I'm taking ownership and I'm pushing for more opportunities because no one has to care more about my career than me. And that's what I'm doing to try and be the best version of myself, whether it's inside a career, outside a career, whatever domain you live in. And so those are going to be the 12 brutal career truths. Let's just go over them one more time. Number 1, hard work isn't enough. 2, loyalty won't pay the bills. 3, your job title is temporary. 4, your boss isn't always right. 5, networking is non-negotiable. 6, burnout is a badge of honor. 7, comfort zones kill growth. 8, feedback is a gift. 9, you're always replaceable. 10, perfection slows you down. 11, career progress isn't linear. And 12, no one will hand you success. Those are 12 brutal career truths. So if you enjoyed that episode, please share it with a friend. It's the absolute best marketing that we have. If you found it useful or insightful at all, send them the link, talk about it with them, discuss them. Let me know what ideas stood out to you, what resonated most deeply, what you liked, what you didn't like. I'd love to hear your feedback. But most importantly, I appreciate you tuning in. I thank you so much. I love you so much. And we'll see you next time. Lots of love. Cheers. Thank you very much for tuning into that episode. And if you enjoyed it, click right here for another full-length episode of the podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe. But most importantly, above all else, please take good care of yourselves and others. And I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Cheers.